My name is Sabine Stricker-Kellerer. I'm an international lawyer and also asking a question from the business end. As you mentioned, we are living in a changed world, and geopolitics and geoeconomics entered every boardroom and is in every strategy department. So what we would like to know, or what I would like to know, is how in India is the relationship, interaction, the alignment between businesses and government. So that's the topic we're having here today, the alignment between business and politics when it comes to geopolitical issues. And only as an example, that would be how to deal with overcapacity coming from China or dependencies on major players. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I said a third question could be taken. Is there anybody in the room? Yeah, please.
Good morning. My name is Arndt Menstiel. I have the honor to chair the German Asia Pacific Business Association here in Germany, or by its German acronym OAV, with more than 400 corporate members across all sectors and sizes of the German industry. Thank you for sharing very impressive numbers and facts on the transformational journey of your country. And in this regard, I'd like to ask specifically on the area of sustainability and climate change. Which strategic partnerships is your government seeking here, and how can we leverage the expertise of the German industry in this regard? Thank you.
Minister, you would like to start, maybe?
Yes. So let me start with the first question, which is the challenges posed by the bureaucracy to economic growth, to business. It's a reality, okay. But it's also a reality that is recognized by the government. So, in fact, when Prime Minister Modi was first elected, when he first came to power as Prime Minister in 2014, one of his earliest efforts was to shake up the government to try and make it easier to do business. Those days, there was actually a World Bank ranking. They stopped it for some complicated reasons I don't want to go into. But what we had done till the rankings were actually there, we were actually going up the rankings very fast. Now, we found, until you actually recognize a problem and accept there's a problem, you can't fix it. So I do want to assure you that for us, there is a very sharp realization at the highest levels of the government that we have to make India a more business-friendly country. It isn't just bureaucracy. Sometimes we have outdated regulations and laws. There's a big push to modernize all of that. There's also, I think, a much greater inclination to hear from business. I find whether it's in India or when we go abroad, we actually actively solicit from business saying, please tell us your pain points. We'd like to know from you, because that's really the most accurate feedback that we can possibly get. On the issue of tariffs, I think that's what you meant. You didn't use the word. Look, there are concerns here because, some of it goes to the last observation, the next question, that we are often a market where there's a lot of dumping from other countries, not from Germany. But the issue for us has been how do we grow and at the same time encourage people to invest in businesses and not have those businesses swamped by unfair competition from outside. Now, again, when it comes to duties, it's one of those things, it's very hard to get it right on a permanent basis unless you are actually a low tariff economy, which many developed economies are. It's much harder for a developing economy. But here too, if we, for example, do understand that import duties are actually blocking production in India, I think we would have an open mind at looking at it, So for us, the focus, the emphasis would be how do you encourage companies to make in India so that there's a diversified global production. If there are obstacles there, we are, as I said, open to looking at it. On the next question, what is the relationship, how do business and government get, how do they deal with each other? I think largely through, mechanisms like chambers of various kinds. It could be local, it could be national, it could be a narrow profession. For example, the IT industry has its own body. The pharmaceutical people have their own body. But we do encourage businesses to express their concerns to us, and equally fairly, we do express our concerns to them, where we feel that businesses need to take precautions, where they need to have policies where their exposure can have national consequences, sometimes even national security consequences. I think we would be, and we are well within our rights to tell business saying, hang on here, slow down, look at this very carefully, think what you are doing. And today, some of the debates which are going on in our part of the world are not different from those which perhaps are taking place in yours as well, which is, where does business stop and where does security begin? Where do you expose yourself, where your bottom lines actually somewhere take you that far that it's no longer comfortable. Sometimes it could even be dangerous. I think these are today legitimate issues because all countries are not the same. All businesses are not the same, and not everybody plays by the same rules and by, frankly, the same philosophy in a way. So this is, I would say, really, in a way, a kind of a shared global debate. We have our part of it. And my own sense, I didn't have enough time to speak about it. The deeper we enter the digital era, I think this challenge is going to become bigger and bigger, because that, it's in a way paradoxical that we take so much precautions about the handling of data at home and don't worry about what happens when that data crosses our borders. So it's something we all need to think about. I don't think any of us has the perfect model. I do believe, and this is something with the EU we are trying to do through the Trade and Technology Council, that we need to understand. We're all making policies as we go along. There will be trial and error, there would be achievements, but there would be need for correction. And it's something I believe we need to have that conversation with Europe as much as we do with the United States. On the climate change, look, as I said, we still have a lot of growth ahead of us. And we know that growth cannot be, replicating how previous economies grew or how we ourselves grew in the past. So it doesn't make sense to invest, deeply in what you may have to dismantle down the road. So there is a very conscious drive today, particularly when it comes to renewables. In fact, if I were to pick one of the big changes in India in the last 10 years, it would actually be the enormous shift that we are seeing towards in the direction of renewables. We're also very interested, in building up hydroelectricity. Our own abilities are somewhat limited here, but many of our neighbors are more blessed than we are. We're trying to work with them. But, as a kind of example, I want to share something with you. Again, a new program, a new initiative we are starting is we are actually looking at millions of houses doing rooftop solar. Because for us, decentralized solar, localized solar is actually not just better for the environment, it deals with a lot of other issues like, the inefficiency of grids. And as we move towards, an era of electric mobility, we also think the decentralized solar and, an electric era would be more fitting. But since I am in Germany, I want to say this, that we think this is one area where you can make a big difference. You have great capacities, you have a lot of experience, and you have a commitment, which we respect. So today, the Green and Sustainable Development Partnership is one of the central pillars of our relationship, and we certainly expect, we would look forward to it growing.
Your thoughts?